Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford City v Mansfield Town match preview. Let me know your score predictions and thoughts going into the game in the comments down below. It's a massive game, but also a massive thank you for 200 subscribers. I think we're on 203 now. On the support is massively appreciated. Like the video if you do as well, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And going by the City Gent, I'm sure it'll be somewhere in Mansfield on Saturday, only £2. And if not, if you can't find it Saturday, I'm sure it'll be available for the Grimsby Town game next Saturday as well. On the last five results then, a huge win against Wrexham on penalties, and we've got a bit of momentum now. We've got to take the most of that. We beat Crewe on Saturday as well, a 1-0 win at home, keeping our good home form going. A 3-0 defeat to Morecambe, a 1-1 draw to Stockport, and a 2-1 home win against Colchester. And let me know your thoughts on Middlesbrough as well. Are you happy with that draw? I don't get all the negativity around it. I'd much rather have Middlesbrough at home than a Port Vale at home, or a Harrogate or someone just like that. It's much more of an exciting game, and it's a game that's winnable. Middlesbrough struggling. They might not field such a strong team because they'll be focused on the league by then, and it's at home as well, and we've got a good home record at the minute as well. So I'm looking forward to that one, but we need to use the momentum to just kick on now. Give us a performance. We want 100% effort in this one, and we haven't got too bad of a record against Mansfield, so I'll get into that one a little bit later in the head-to-heads. There's still areas to improve. I think the back five still got to go. Still, defenders look uncomfortable in there. Every time we go to a back four, we just look a lot better. We've got to. I think we've still got a lot of work to do when we're building the ball from the back. We still look a bit. There's still a lot of grey areas with that. I think keep playing at a quicker tempo, and you'll get the fans right behind you. And the second half performances have to really improve as well. Only 5 goals. 5 of our 8 goals have been conceded in the second half of games, and we're not seeing games out well enough. So into past and present then, Andy Cook, obviously formerly of Mansfield Town. Obviously Nigel Clough isn't a big fan of him. He only scored 1 goal in 14 games under Nigel Clough, did Andy Cook, and then he loaned him out to City. The rest is history. Jordan Bowery as well, I think he had a loan spell, was it 15-16? He was at City on loan from Rotherham, was it? I think he's been playing wing back most of the time for Mansfield because of their injury problems. And talking of injury problems, Paul Anderson, obviously at City 15-16 season, had a lot of injuries, never really got going, came in with a lot of hype from his transfer from Ipswich Town. Into a key players then from Mansfield Town then. Davis Kelly had done 5 goals in his last 5 games, all really good goals as well. Absolutely quality player, and definitely their best player by a country mile. But they've still got a real good core. Aidan Flynn played in the semi-final against Peterborough, very influential in that late goal. Don't know if he scored it, but he definitely got a knockdown if he didn't. Very solid defender. We need to target him with pacing behind. I think Tyler Smith, I've got my eyes on you because he could cause him some real problems with that pace. And then Louis Reed, I think he's a fantastic midfielder in League 2, really good on the ball, quite snappy when he ain't got the ball and he's defending as that sitting midfielder. And he was fantastic at Swindon under Ben Garner, and he's still doing well at Mansfield. Not quite had the games. I think he only played 5 games last season, but I'm sure that they'll all want him to kick on this season. Just remembered that I forgot to read out Mansfield's last 5 results. They have beat Sheffield Wednesday in the Cup. They're still in the League Cup. They beat them on penalties 5-4 after a 1-1 draw. A 3-2 win against Stockport at home. A 1-1 draw against Grimsby. A 2-2 draw to Doncaster. And a 3-0 win against Morecambe. And haven't lost at all this season. Started the season very strongly, as you'd expect. My problem with Mansfield is as the season goes on, they're going to get more injuries, and they already have picked up some big injuries this season. Key players like Alfred Kilger, the list goes on. So what can we expect apart from injuries? We can expect a lot of shots off. They average 22 shots in games this season. They like to have the ball. The Nigel Clough's Mansfield, not really known for that over his career, Sheffield United, Derby and Burton, but this Mansfield side do like to have a bit more of the ball. But they are susceptible to counter-attacks, and they have conceded quite a few goals to them so far this season. But on Nigel Clough, his record v Bradford City, he's won 3 games, drawn 4, and we've won the other 5. Nigel is the 8th longest serving manager in the AFL now, 2 years, 294 days at Mansfield, and that's just ludicrous to think he's the 8th longest serving manager with that amount of games. I think Mark Hughes definitely in the top 20. It just goes to show how football's gone. I think in the first Premier League season in 1992, there were only 1 manager sacked in that season, and now to think there's managers already getting sacked when you look at Dean Alden at Charlton. The referee then is Lee Doherty. He's already issued 18 cards out this season. And again, his record against City, we've won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1. So he hasn't really managed that, he hasn't refereed that many games against us, only the 5, and it's quite patchy. So you can't make much about that, but you can with this one. He has never sent off a Bradford City player. His record against Mansfield, no draws in his 2 games, a win for Mansfield and a defeat for Mansfield as well. So make of that what you will, all pretty much irrelevant, apart from the 18 cards that he's dished out so far this season. So into head-to-heads then, 70 games played against Mansfield, 28 wins, 18 draws and 24 defeats. The last 5 results being a 1-1 draw in February of last year at home. I remember rightly, we didn't get robbed, but we should have come away with a win. Stupid defending towards the back of the game again, sitting on that 1-goal lead. A 2-1 win away at Mansfield on the 8th of November 2022. A 2-0 defeat to Mansfield on the 26th of February 2022. A 3-2 win against Mansfield on the 21st of August 2021. And a 1-0 win against Mansfield on the 2nd of March 2021. That means we have only lost 1 game against Mansfield out of 5 away. And we've only lost 1 game against Mansfield in 6 altogether. So a pretty good record against Mansfield lately, and a very rich history of 70 games played against them. Into my starting 11, let me know yours in the comments down below. Who are you starting? I think Cook is out injured. We've got a few also out injured. I think Patterson's going to be a late call, more than likely not to be starting from what Mark Hughes has said today, and a couple of others as well. But I would be going with a 4-2-3-1. I don't see how we can keep playing with this 3 at back. Lewis in goal obviously looks to be back to his best with a good game last Saturday against Crewe, making some good saves, and then winning us the game against Wrexham with some big saves in the game in general, but also with that last gasp penalty save. Halliday right back, got to start for me, much better than Oyegoki, and he had some good chances against Wrexham, but it shows his intent and, it shows his ability to get in those areas. Matty Platt partnering Sam Stubbs for me. Platt looked a bit uncomfortable on the ball, but just simply don't put the pressure on the centre-backs to be playing out like that. Play with a quicker tempo and get the ball into your midfielders much quicker. But Platt as a defender is the most steady out of the lot. Sam Stubbs as well, I would persist with him. I'd rather play Odesina personally, but that's just not going to happen, so there's no point constantly saying I'm going to start Odesina. And Sam Stubbs, for me, he hopefully can get back to his best, and slowly he's proving to get back to that. Playing with Platt next to him in a 2 would definitely help that. Lewis Richards in left back, much better than what we've had in recent years, and every performance he's looking much better as well. Obviously didn't start on Tuesday night against Wrexham, it was Rydal, and you can tell the difference. Morwood had a massive impact on the game against Wrexham, came off the bench against Crewe, looked more up and at it, and he's really relishing his place back in the team. After being dropped, he's realised that he's got to up his game, and he definitely did against Wrexham. Osadebe as well looks better against Wrexham. The lack of options in midfield is the reason I'm playing him. I think McDonald's out, Patterson's out, and it leaves you with Osadebe playing with Smallwood. If we didn't loan out a certain Ryanese who's doing well at Rochdale, we might not have that issue. Going into the final third, we've got Walker in the number 10 position. Wilson on the right hand side. I think he's got to start when you look at the injuries. If he doesn't start, Poynton's got to start. It's one of the 2, and it's 2 players you don't really want to risk so early on in a away game, a big away game against Mansfield, but you've got to risk one of them, and I'd rather risk Adam Wilson, I think. And then Odra on the left hand side had a great start to a season, a most creative player so far this season as well. And I think he's going to be available for Saturday. Maybe you go Wilson and Poynton, which would be extremely exciting, but I'm going more realistic and what I would select as well. And I think Poynton at the minute as an impact sub is unbelievable, and he's a great player to bring off the bench. And then Tyler Smith up front. I think Cook's going to be out injured. Like I say, only 1 goal in 14 for Nigel Clough at Mansfield. And against Mansfield, Nigel Clough came out after the win against Sheffield Wednesday, because there's no preview because the media team didn't meet Nigel Clough. He said, what your thoughts going into Bradford City? And he said, well, Cook is going to score. He always scores against us. He doesn't. He's only scored 3 goals in 7 games against Mansfield. I couldn't find how many goals he scored against Nigel Clough. Maybe it's different because Clough has been manager, but not the best record when he's played against his former club. But we know in general when he plays against his former teams, he does well. But I think he's unavailable anyway for the game. Might be on the bench, and he's always a good player to bring off the bench as well. And Tyler Smith, for me, his game against Wrexham, he'll really give Aidan Flint some pressure. We need a pacey striker, especially if we are going to sit back like we do. Gives a different outlet, and I think he could get a couple of goals if he starts against Mansfield on Saturday. So that's my starting 11. Score prediction for the game is going to be a 3-2 City win. I think there's going to be goals in this one. I don't know why, but Mansfield are quite open at this stage of the season, not quite settled defensively yet. Very good side though, and I hope that we can exploit their frailties at the back, and hopefully we can try and keep it tight ourselves. But it could be a great game. I'm hoping for a great game as well. Let me know your thoughts going into a game in the comments down below. Thank you for 200 subscribers on the road to 300. All the support's massively appreciated. Go and buy this if you see it at the ground. If not, it will be available for Grimsby at home next Saturday. I did a little piece in there, a couple of pages. Let's hope we can keep this momentum going after a big win against Wrexham. Have a good one.